Hey YouTube. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nghiem. I'm a food, beverage, and portrait photographer based out of Philadelphia. So I've been a Canon user since I started, and then I went to Fuji, then back to Canon. So I recently just got my 85 1.4 in. I really wanted to get the 85 1.2, but considering that lens is now $3,000 before tax, that's just way too much money. So I was waiting for the 1.4 to come out, which it did. It costed about $1,700 after tax. I'm pretty sure before tariffs it would have been probably about $1,500. Freaking ridiculous. But yeah, so I got the 1.4. I'm gonna play around with it. I'm gonna obviously do my things with what I usually do with 85. 85 is my favorite focal length, so I'm obviously gonna take around to take portraits, some obviously beverage photos with it, and have see what it looks like. I'm pretty, at the end of the day, it's gonna look really good. Honestly, I don't shoot at 1.4 or 1.2 or 2.0 very often. I'm always higher. I mean, not higher, but you know what I mean, like f5.6 to f11. I don't do a lot of shadow lift up the field photos unless I have to. However, the build quality of this, the f1.4 to f1.2, is way better than the 2.0. And I also, with the 2.0, the barrel extends when you do macro or focus weird. So, but that said, I also broke the motor of the f2 that I had, and to fix it would have been half the cost of it brand new. So I decided to sell for parts, which I used those proceeds along with some other things I sold to Webcam Philly to get the Manfrotto 1, which is right behind this camera that I'm going to try mess around with. So yeah, I'm going to be messing around with this 85 1.4. It's nice and light-ish. I'm pretty sure a full kitted bag of the R5 II, this 85, 35, and 50 that I have is still gonna be pretty significant. I'm an old man, so, but if I had the 1.2, it would probably be even heavier. But the gorgeous bokeh of 1.2 is hard to say no to. Actually, yeah, I can say no to because its cost is like over $3,000. So yeah, I can say no to it. This sucks. This tariff situation, tire economy, all this shit it's aggravating, to be honest with you. To claim otherwise would be me lying. So yeah, I'm gonna mess around with this lens, and then we'll get right back to giving my thoughts about this lens. And then at the end of this video, I'm gonna do some photos around the city. I might try to shoot some clips with it. I don't expect too much. I'm pretty sure it's gonna has some really good image quality. It's just focusing that might be in Bean's tracking might be the only issue I'll have with it. But so far, I mean, I already know what to expect from an 85. So it's, as I mentioned, I think it is my favorite focal length. So I know what it's gonna look like. So yeah, we're gonna mess around with the 85, and then we'll come right back to this. All right, hold up. I'm going to the city. I took the 35 and the 85 with me.
Collingswood.
Do some cocktail photos with it and see how I feel with the 85. It's probably gonna do well. May not be as dreamy and magical as the 1.2, but it's gonna do well. So back outside with the 85. Definitely probably gonna shoot footage. You know, the micro jitters is shaking. perfect for using this with an 85. It's difficult to have a steady shot handheld without any real support. I'm not going to bring around the tripod. Bryce Harris Sonny's neighbors always decorate their house. I like Halloween to an extent, but I don't feel like you can't use things. But the extent people go to decorate their houses on holidays is fascinating. This book processing. Alright, so this is 85. Let's see. With an EC JetMag ND system. It has a 1 to 5 VND and a 3 stop on top. This way, the initial ND is 4, going up to 9. I like this JetMag system to a certain extent. The magnet and hold locking mechanism. I mean, the locking mechanism isn't as great as Peter McKinnon's, but at the same time, if I doubled those VNDs, the VNDs would be like super thick. So, yeah, it is what it is to get the VND on here. But yeah, it's like the other two VCM lenses I have, the 35 and 50. It's nice, compact. It's not as heavy as the 85 1.2. It's heavy right now because I have these ND filters on. Once you take them off, it does lose some weight. But yeah, if I carry all 3 lenses, it will be kind of hefty, but better than the 85 1.2, and if I carry the 2470. So I don't know how this will pack when I go back to Japan, because I'm probably going to just bring the 35, 50, and 85. But I'm pretty sure my back's going to kill me. Anyway, I gotta watch some Colbert and I'll get back to doing this video later. Alright, see you in a bit. On my R5 II, and it's on the Manfrotto 1. I kind of like it. It is heavy, heavier than I thought it would be, but I was told that and I looked at the specs, the carbon fiber one, which is $400 more compared to this one, is just a pound lighter, and that pound difference is not that big. If it was 3 pounds lighter, it would have been better. I think it would have been better. It would have been a better choice to go for the carbon fiber one, but it's only a pound, so it's like to spend $400 more for that pound difference. It's not a good buy. So I decided to just get the aluminum one. I got this aluminum one at Webcam Philly Adorama had it out of stock till November, and as I mentioned earlier, I traded in. I sold my broken 85 f2, my old small rig video tripod, and my two Nanlite Pablo tubes to go for this. I didn't get too much for those two two items, but I didn't want them like clutter my storage where I store my stuff, so I decided to sell it anyway, even though I got like a couple $100 for those two items. It brought down the tripod down a bit, so that's why I did. So I'm using the 85. It is actually heavier than the 35 and the 50. I went back as I took my lens off. I was like, whoa, this one's more chunkier. The same size, but there's more heft to this 85 compared to like my 35 or 50. So, yeah. But the best thing about this tripod, let me turn this one off so I don't waste battery, is primarily this functionality. Yeah, you get a tilt head and with all these other knobs, but this is also a fluid head. So you could like use it like for a video camera. So when you're doing a video and we have to shoot freaking vertical, you could use it as a fluid head vertically without having to change your camera rig, which is so handy. But not only that, hopefully I could take this off without dropping. This comes out super easy. I just bought another exchange unit so I could put on my slider, so I could put the slider on here super fast and put this on the slider super fast without having to do the whole motion of screwing it on and take forever. Which reminds me, I need to start using my slider more often, so hopefully this will lead towards me using the slider more often. This is my first time putting it back on, so there is some probably a hiccup. I turn this on. You're supposed to just click it in. There you go. You have to turn this wheel around first to get it clicked in place to open it up. Which is, better than doing the whole motion of unscrewing and screwing it on. At least in my mind. And the legs, they're kind of like Sacklers, where it's only like one lever on the bottom of each, like the middle of each leg. You just have to do 3 motions just to unclick them and lift them up and re-click. And then you could like easily level with a lever over here to level out your tripod or where your camera's to show that it's level. With the small rig, the small rig I think can hold higher capacity, but it was just so cumbersome to set up, change orientation, and all that sort. So that's why I went with the Manfrotto one. Now, let me finish steeping my coffee so I could do a quick pour video. So yeah, I do like how compact this 85 is compared to the 1.2, but I guess like image quality wise, the bokeh is actually obviously smoother because the f1.2 shoots at f1.2, but considering it's the $3,000 lens, and I'm usually always f4 or higher or lower to f11 for food photos, that it's like getting that is for a 1.2 it's not that super important to me. Only if I just want that really creamy bokeh. But honestly, the content of the photo is worth way more to the image than the bokeh quality. So yeah, getting the 1.2 would be nice. Don't get me wrong. It definitely is a dream lens. If you put the 1.2 to good use and that sort, yeah, it's amazing. But this lens is $1,600, so it's pretty much half the cost of the f1.2. The f2 is great, a little soft on the corners, but what I really didn't like was the lens barrel would extend. What I didn't like about the f2 was, as I mentioned, soft corners. The lens barrel would extend further out of the body, from the lens barrel. But that's mostly when you're getting really close for macro. But it was super annoying. And that's what also caused the motor to break. Maybe it was for me, it got caught in something, and when I pulled it out the camera, the bag, it pulled out the lens barrel, and then it broke the motor that way. I mean, that's also, hold on. Excuse me. There's also an issue with having lens filters on these cameras, that if you have a lens that extends outside of the lens barrel, these things might get caught in your camera bag, and then it'll pull it out. It could cause damage, and that's probably what happened, how it broke. So, lesson learned. But with these lenses, they don't extend out of the barrel, so I'm hoping that if this guy caught, it's not going to damage anything. Fingers crossed. I do have a PPA for my insurance, so that should be okay. But yeah, 85 so far has been doing pretty good. I don't have any criticisms for it right now, but I'm pretty sure I will eventually. But this video is mostly like a first impressions of this lens. So I'm shooting this one in 29.97 frames per second settings to have the clean audio, obviously, but also to be able to slow it down just a smidge in Final Cut Pro, so I can still have the audio and it being slower than 24 frames per second or 23.98 frames per second. I don't want, like, the whole slow B-roll thing for food and that sort can get overdone, but I think I think I'll keep it the original at 23.98 frames per second to just try to get really clean audio, because the audio of the pour is way more important to me than it looking super slow and buttery. Yeah, I have a bit of a runny nose, if you can't tell. Alright, got my settings down. I gotta make sure I lock it. Lock it in. I'll just turn on manual focus. I don't see what... Actually, here's the issue. It's focus breathing. Or focus hunting. That's annoying. I'll just leave it on manual focus. Because my settings for video, it's I have it as servo autofocus speed is +2, tracking sensitivity is -3 to be locked on. So should be good, but I'm just gonna lock it off anyway because it's already locked off on a tripod and it's a stable subject. The important part is just getting clean audio, which is another issue I'm trying to learn, doing clean audio. Which I think when I get the C50, I'll have better audio capture because using XLR ports instead of on the mic port right here. But yeah, all right. Let me get to this part and turn this one off. I think when I get the other exchange port, I'm going to try doing better slider shots. or at least practice with slider, because as mentioned earlier, it's such a pain in the ass to set up. And I did spend like fucking $800 on it, and as much as I probably would not get a good value, resale value of it. Let me reshoot this one then. Oh, where's my tail? Alright, refocus it. Everything's locked off. I probably want to like put a, well, I needed that extra mic port so I could do a dual channel, so I could put shotgun mic on top and a lav mic behind it so I could get a clean audio. But not with this camera. The FX3, yeah, but I'm messing around with the 85, so on the Canon, so can't do that with FX3. Alright, let's try this again. So, I spent the last several days just shooting with the 85. So what do I think about this, finally? I'm obviously gonna look at the results later when I go through Capture One to edit. But how I feel about it, you know, it's just like every other 85. It's a, you know, it has a beautiful compression to it. The bokeh, you know, for me, the bokeh is fine. It's not 1.2, so it's 1.4. It's not as smooth as the 85 1.2, but it's also not $3,000. But the comparison to the F2, that might be a little tougher. I mean, in terms of image quality, I did like the F2. It was a little soft in corners, but once you get to like f5.6 and higher, or lower, it doesn't really matter, because you're pretty not shooting in super shallow depth of field. I don't shoot super depth of field, only when it's super dark and when I have to. But yeah, comparing this one to the F2, which is probably the better idea to compare, because you know, it's, unless you got like $3,000, for at least for the Canon system, it's either the 85 1.4 or the F2. The only thing I really did not like about the F2, I definitely mentioned this in the video, is that even though it's a prime, the barrel extends, and this is definitely user error. Okay, I have these Nghiem jet mag adapters on the lenses to put so I could do the hot swaps of like ND filters and that sort, because I really don't like using the screw-on filters, because they're just such a pain in the butt to set up, install, and change to different lenses. So having these adapters is handy, but I think when I pulled the lens out of the camera bag, they got caught in one of the paddings and then just yanked the lens out. This is not an issue for a zoom lens like the 24-70. However, for the 85 with its long extending barrel part, I think that damaged the motor, that led it to have that kind of motor issue. So it is user error, it's not Canon, okay? So it's definitely a user caused issue. But should you use like ND filters or anything like that, like the system on that 85 f2, just keep that in mind. If you pull out the lens and it gets yanked, it's probably going to damage the motor. So that is my fault. So, but in terms of like image quality, again, it's really close. It's really not, in terms of like the center, focus, sharpness, and all that sort, they're all really close. It's just the corners it's just a little bit soft at f2, but you could honestly, if you pay attention to what I just said earlier, but not pulling the lens out of your bag with this kind of a setup on, and if you don't yank out the extending part of the barrel, you'll be fine. So, because you're looking at a difference between $700 and $1,600. So there's a $1,000 difference. For me, the build quality was the extra bonus worth that cost, and it is slightly faster to get focus and oh shoot, my R50V's battery's about to die on me, so hold up. I've never really excuse me. I've never really used this R50V so extensively so far. It's starting to be my vlogging camera. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So if you want to decide between the better options to decide for the Canon system for the 85s, unless you got a ton of money and you got a lot of jobs coming in, your decision is between the 85 f2 and the 1.4. I feel like the f1.4 is a great step up if you want to get the red ring of amazingness from Canon, but so far I think it's definitely worth the money. So, but if you don't have that kind of cash, don't regret having the f2. It is a great lens. It's just that caveat of the extended lens barrel. It is user error, which is my fault for why it broke, but it's something to keep in mind when you have a lens filter set system on it and you put it in your bag. Otherwise, if you just keep that in mind, you really can't go wrong. They're both really great lenses. They both will create amazing work. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up this video. I mostly used the 85 this weekend since I got the lens on the R5 II. I'll probably put some stills I shot with it at the end of this video. This is kind of my first or second-ish review-ish kind of video, and I don't like talking about the specs of something to give a review. I'd rather just give how I used it, how I felt about it, and just show the results later than to talk overall specs in terms of review. So yeah, that's what this video is. It's a great lens. However you use your camera gear, you're gonna create great work. So it's all about your storycraft and your composition. Anyway, I'm gonna put this all together and see how this vlog, gear, talk, video comes together. Maybe I'll do more in the future and just talk about the lenses, the gear I currently have, because I am definitely not buying anything else anytime soon. So yeah, stay through to see the images, and then just let me know what your thoughts about this video. The 85, should you have it? I know there's a big heated, I guess heated, but also a negative feeling about Canon with the RF system being closed. I totally get it. I'd love to have Sigma on my full frame lenses, a full frame body, but the silver ring lenses, which includes f2, 85 f2, they're really good. They just have some caveats that you have to think about. Otherwise, you really can't go wrong. So I feel like the silver ring lenses from Canon are their versions of third-party lenses. I mean, at this point, it is what it is. I mean, if you want a jump system, it's a lot of money, but it's your decision to make. But I can see what this looks like, and listen to how many uhs and ums I do this. All right. If you like this video, please like, maybe subscribe. I don't know, maybe not say maybe, but please do subscribe and hit the like or send a comment. I'll try to respond to comments that are actual comments, not spam. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.